In the next 10 minutes, you're going to witness one of the most catastrophic natural disasters in Caribbean history. A monster so powerful, it rewrote the record books. A storm so massive, it turned an entire island into a war zone. This is Hurricane Melissa. 185 mile-per-hour winds. Gusts exceeding 220 miles per hour. The second strongest hurricane ever recorded in Atlantic history, and the strongest to ever hit Jamaica. Right now, as you're watching this, catastrophic winds are tearing through the island like a massive tornado that refuses to move. Bridges are collapsing, hospitals are losing their roofs, and thousands are trapped as several months worth of rain dumps down in just hours. But here's what makes this even more terrifying, and you need to stay with me because what happens next will shock you. Just moments ago, Hurricane Melissa officially made landfall in southwestern Jamaica near New Hope. The National Hurricane Center confirmed it. 185 miles per hour winds, 295 kilometers per hour, with a minimum pressure of 892 millibars. To put that in perspective, that pressure reading is so low, it's almost incomprehensible. This is now an extremely dangerous, life-threatening situation unfolding in real time. Our correspondent Derek Van Dam is on the ground in Kingston, the capital city, about 100 miles east of where the center of this beast is making its devastating push inland. Even from that distance, the conditions are deteriorating rapidly. But here's where it gets even more dangerous, and this is critical information that could save lives. The eye of Hurricane Melissa is so well defined, so perfectly formed, that it's creating what meteorologists call the deadly deception. Here's what's happening right now in the impact zone. As the eye passes over communities, the winds suddenly drop to almost nothing. The rain stops, the sky's clear, birds start flying around, people look up and see blue sky, sunshine, perfect calm. And this is where the tragedy happens. People think the storm is over. They venture outside to check their property, to see the damage, to help neighbors. They have no idea that they're standing in the eye of the hurricane, and in just minutes, the backside of that eye wall is going to slam into them with the same 185 miles per hour winds, but from the opposite direction. Think about what that means. All the debris that was blown in one direction is now going to become a projectile weapon flying the other way. Anything that was barely hanging on during the first pass will be ripped apart in the second, and anyone caught outside when that back eye wall hits, well, their chances of survival drop dramatically. This counterclockwise rotation, this double impact effect, is why Hurricane Melissa isn't just powerful, it's uniquely destructive. Now let me paint the full picture of what's happening across Jamaica right now, because the destruction is not uniform, and understanding this geography is crucial. Kingston, the capital, with a population of 1 million people, about a third of Jamaica's entire population is largely being spared the worst of the catastrophic winds. This is incredibly fortunate because the population density there would have made casualties astronomical. But western and southwestern Jamaica, that's a completely different story. This is where pure and utter devastation is unfolding. St. Elizabeth Parish, where the eye made landfall, is being absolutely hammered. Early reports are already coming in, and they're heartbreaking. Homes are being destroyed. The Jamaica Public Service Company's building in Black River has completely lost its roof. A hospital in the area has lost its ceiling. Medical centers that people were counting on for emergency care are now themselves disasters. And here's something that's going to make the aftermath even worse. This storm is moving at the speed of a brisk walk. That means these communities aren't getting hit and then getting relief. They're getting pounded hour after hour after hour by catastrophic winds and torrential rain. But the impact goes beyond just the immediate destruction. And this is where the long-term consequences become truly devastating. Western Jamaica isn't just any region. This is the agricultural heartland of the country. Farms, livestock, crops that feed the nation, all of it is in the direct path of this monster. Think about what 185 miles per hour winds do to farmland. Every crop destroyed, livestock killed, barns and equipment obliterated, the livelihoods of thousands of families gone in a matter of hours. But wait, there's more devastation heading north. Montego Bay, one of Jamaica's most famous tourist destinations, is on the northern side of the island. And as Hurricane Melissa crosses over the mountainous terrain, it looks like Montego Bay could take a direct eyewall hit. Tourism is synonymous with Jamaica's coastal areas. Resorts, beaches, the entire infrastructure that brings in vital foreign currency, all of it is about to face winds that can peel the roof off a concrete building. The economic impact of this single storm could set Jamaica back years. We're not just talking about rebuilding homes, we're talking about rebuilding an entire regional economy. And then there's the infrastructure crisis that's developing right now. As Hurricane Melissa continues its deadly march across Jamaica, a third to 50% of the island has already lost electricity. And southern and western Jamaica account for the vast majority of that percentage. Here's the problem. Jamaica doesn't have much underground power infrastructure. Almost everything is above ground poles and overhead power lines. And what do you think 185 miles per hour's winds do to power poles? They snap them like toothpicks. This isn't just an inconvenience. Without power, water systems fail, communication networks go down, hospitals can't function, refrigeration stops working. In the Caribbean heat, that means food spoils within hours. The government has positioned generators at various locations to try to keep water flowing, but here's the reality. Restoring power to these devastated communities could take weeks, possibly months. Every single power line will need to be restrung, every pole replaced, and they can't even begin that work until the storm passes and the roads are cleared. Speaking of roads, many are already becoming completely inaccessible. Flash flooding is turning streets into rivers, mudslides are burying mountain roads, and the debris from destroyed buildings is blocking what remains. First responders can't reach people who need help, emergency supplies can't get through, and anyone who didn't evacuate is now trapped. Before Hurricane Melissa even made landfall, 3 people had already died during preparations for the storm. 3 families already devastated before the worst even began. But here's the sobering reality that Jamaican officials are facing. Given that this is a Category 5 hurricane tearing through farming communities where many houses are older, less modern, less structurally sound, the death toll is almost certainly going to rise. Over 800 shelters were opened across Jamaica. Approximately 6,000 people heeded the warnings and sought safety. But Jamaica has 3 million people. That means the vast majority chose to ride out the storm in their homes. Some made that choice because they had nowhere else to go, others because they wanted to protect their property. Some simply didn't believe it would be as bad as forecasters warned. Right now, in those communities directly in the path of the eye wall, people are experiencing winds that can turn ordinary objects into deadly projectiles. Roof tiles become flying guillotines, palm fronds become spears. A piece of plywood becomes a battering ram. And for those in low-lying areas, there's another threat: catastrophic flooding. We've already seen bridges completely submerged, invisible, under raging floodwaters. Flash floods are tearing through valleys. Mudslides are sweeping down mountains, burying everything in their path. Hurricane Melissa is still ongoing as you watch this. The nightmare isn't over. It will be hours before the storm completely passes over Jamaica and continues on its path. But when the winds finally die down, when the rain finally stops, Jamaica is going to wake up to a changed landscape. Communities will be unrecognizable. Families will have lost everything. The recovery will take not days or weeks, but months and potentially years. Senator Abka Fitz-Henley, Jamaica's Minister of State, put it simply: we stand ready to assist as soon as it is reasonably safe for our evacuation and first responders to go in. That's the reality. Help is coming, but it can't come yet. People are on their own right now, sheltering in place, hoping their walls hold, praying their roofs stay on, waiting for this monster to pass. This is Hurricane Melissa, the second strongest Atlantic hurricane ever recorded. The strongest to ever hit Jamaica. A storm that will be remembered for generations. And the recovery starts the moment the winds stop. If this video opened your eyes to the devastating power of Hurricane Melissa and the urgent situation facing Jamaica right now, I need you to do 3 things. First, smash that like button. It helps this critical information reach more people who need to understand what's happening. Second, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our continuing coverage as this disaster unfolds. We'll be bringing you updates on the aftermath, the recovery efforts, and how communities are rebuilding. And third, this is the most important one: share this video. Share it with your friends, your family, on social media. The more people who understand the scale of this catastrophe, the more support Jamaica will receive in the critical days and weeks ahead. Drop a comment below if you have connections to Jamaica or if you've experienced a hurricane yourself. Let's build a community of support in the comments. Stay safe out there, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next update.